topics happening in the real estate world. I'm Mike Chris from Meadowtown Royal LePage in Holton Hills, and I'm going to host today's conversation. Today, we've got a great topic panel with the current climate of most home listings continuing to go into multiple offers. What do buyers do about those conditions? And most notably, we're going to focus today's conversation on those home inspections. The panel we've got today, we've got Devor, Elise, Melody, of course, our regulars, and they're going to tackle the questions pertaining to this issue, and they're going to give you their perspective and expertise on this matter. But before I flip it over to them, let me set this up for you. More and more buyers are being pressured to make offers on homes without full home inspections. I think that we've all probably heard that. See the panels nodding. It's like folks playing Russian roulette with your finances, and many could find some unexpected surprises and could find thousands and thousands of dollars potentially in repairs. You know what they say, no conditions means no protection. So, I've got actually a really staggering number to share with you. So the number from the home inspectors over the course of the last 6 months, and this is data that's been shared, with the real estate community, is that approximately 25% of homes are getting home inspections. Now, why that's staggering is because in a normal balanced market or even in a buyer's market, that number is closer to 90%. So what a difference. And this is what, we're all dealing with. So with that, you've got it set up, panel. So I'm going to turn it over to you now and to see how you can help, these buyers out there make decisions with which is probably going to be the biggest investment in their lives, which is their homes. So I'm going to start with you, Melody. You ready?
Absolutely.
All right. If you know you're entering into a multiple offer, how do you counsel your buyer on how to handle home inspections / conditions? How do you do it, Melody?
That's a great question, Mike. So firstly, my name is Melody, as Mike mentioned. I'm based in Toronto, and I'm with Forest Hill Brokerage in Yorkville in Toronto. So going back to your question, Mike, so here's 3 tips when a buyer is entering a multiple offer situation. So in today's market, it is so important to know the risks. So what has happened and what is continuously happening is that including a home inspection condition will likely mean losing the deal. But buyers should also know that not including the condition could cost them significant money in repairs. Number 2, perhaps looking at other home options. So try to see if there are any homes that don't look like they're going into multiple offers and that you could likely include conditions in your offer. A couple options could include, maybe there is a for sale by owner, a FSBO, that the seller is perhaps more accepting of conditions in the offer given other variables. Maybe you could look into a home in a different location and a city that has more inventory. This is very rare, but it could be possible. Or perhaps you could be open to the possibility of flipping a home. So adding the home inspection condition and fully knowing the cost to repair the items, for instance, the roof, the wiring, renovating, etc., and then selling the home at a profit, perhaps. And lastly, tip number 3, go with a more aggressive price and more money. So this is what we're seeing quite often. But let me tell you, it is not guaranteed, but it may be in your favor to offer a higher deposit and a higher price in hopes that you can include the home inspection condition and win the bid. This may also give you more peace of mind. And also know that through a couple conversations with the seller or the listing agent, maybe it is more money, plus the ideal closing dates, plus the ideal irrevocable dates. Plus, I've also seen sellers ask to stay in the house a month after closing, even 3 months after closing. It is crazy out there, but the evidence shows that you should always try to negotiate and make the seller happy with your offer.
Love it, Melody. Those are some amazing tips. And when you see those deals that the seller's prepared to take a preemptive offer, would that potentially be the time to go in really aggressively early on and maybe again tie in that condition? But they're going to avoid having tons of traffic go through their house, which a lot of homeowners want to avoid.
Yeah, absolutely. If they are looking at preemptive offers, that's a good opportunity for you to go in with that aggressive offer they may consider it. You never know. I always like to think if you don't try, you'll never know.
Love it. Love it. Well, why don't we move over to Dev or Dev? Are there any alternatives to not writing a home inspection condition in the offer, but still get your buyer a peace of mind on the condition of that home?
I mean, yeah, when faced with multiple offer situation, in order for our clients to offer for it to look more appealing to the seller, we're faced with the possibility of excluding home inspection clause. So what buyers can do in this instance is, if they like the property, after first visit, bring a home inspector with you to your second viewing and have them do a limited scope inspection. So only look at the big ticket items and the ones that will cost the most to fix. So, or you can bring a friend or family member that's handy, a contractor or general contractor or a handyman, somebody who knows what they're talking about. Your realtor can also look at the history of the home on MLS system and check with the next door neighbors. I mean, you'll be surprised how much you can find out when you just talk to the neighbors around the property and what they reveal about the actual property. So there is definitely ways you can get around it, but clearly in today's market, we are faced with this inevitable situation where more clauses you have included in the contract, less likely you are that your bid is going to be a winning one. So yeah.
Love your point on focusing in on the big ticket items, and whether that's through a friend, a contractor, or a home inspector doing, that way you're not going to get stung with the big ticket. So that's great information. So Elise, I'm going to go over to you with the next question. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What red flags do best-in-class realtors watch out for during home viewings with their clients?
Okay, so hi, I'm Elise Baumeister with Red and White in the Waterloo region. So I want to start by saying that we are not home inspectors by any means. We cannot give you a thorough home inspection of a house. We can, however, go through and kind of point things out. I know that you three can attest to this, that we spent a lot of time in school learning about houses, how they are built, things to watch out for, lots and lots and lots of training, which is amazing. So I remember last month when I was going through with the buyer, she said, I'm amazed at the amount of things that you notice in these houses. And I was like, oh, thank you. So some big things that I look for when I'm going through a house is I check at the ceilings, I look in the corners, I look for any watermarks. It's important to, look if there's a corner in the basement and there's a bunch of boxes piled up. It's hard with COVID because you are really asked not to touch things, but pre-COVID, post-COVID, maybe we're kind of looking behind those items, lifting a rug up to make sure that it's not hiding anything. When you go into a basement, sometimes you can see the wiring. So if the ceiling is covered with drywall, that's going to be hard, but then we'll be looking for, knob and tube wiring or old wiring or any signs of like warning signs. And then lastly, we just want to kind of go into the basement and look for any signs of a wet basement that could lead to, foundation problems, maybe any signs of foundation cracks. So I just personally, I know that when I go through a home, I'm not looking at the pretty decor. I'm not looking at the paint colors. I'm really spending my time trying to find those facts about the house that may deter my buyer from wanting to purchase it, or pointing out and saying, hey, look at the roof. It's in great condition. Or they just put this addition on. So that half of the roof looks like it was just done, and the front half of the roof looks like it's about 20 years old. So we spend our time doing that while you look around and say, oh, I think my living room would look good like this, or my kitchen would look good like this. But like I said, we're not home inspectors, so it's so important to get that third party in there.
Love it, Elise. I mean, I think those are great suggestions. And let's face it, the buyers are going to be looking at, as you said, you're not looking at, the decor and, some of the features of the home. That's what the buyer's job is to do, right? Your job is to do what you just talked about, and you're going to, dig in there. And if there is something to catch, I mean, I think that you're going to catch some stuff that, and that's what, best in class realtors do. And,
sorry, Mike, can I say one more thing?
No, you're over time. No, of course.
Cut off.
Yes.
I'm cut off. But I hear that a lot. Okay. I also think it's super important to know what's happening in the location of the house too. And that, like, so a house that we almost put an offer in on last month was close to a safe injection site. So I think that kind of stuff is important for us to pay attention to also, because it could be unsafe, if you're going to have children in the home. So not only paying attention to just the house and the physical structure, but the outside of the house and what it's backing onto and that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
One
That's
little
awesome.
quick tip that I wanted to add in terms of
Yeah.
a basement, it's the smell. That's the easiest way you can figure out whether the basement has any dampness or any damage. You just smell. It smells damp. It smells musty. If there's something like that, then obviously you need to get a professional in to look into it a little bit deeper. But that's my first giveaway. Just the smell in the basement.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And guys, I think that when I think of a buyer today not putting a home inspection in place, scary, yes. But you just spent a number of minutes here, pointing out some great, best-in-class stuff, that realtors can do on behalf of their buyers to ensure that they help them, not get stung, as I started with thousands and thousands of dollars of repairs. So, with that, the format was a little different today, panel, right? I mean, a little bit more Q&A wise, and that's what I think we would like to do, for our future discussions. And to anyone tuning in, I mean, we are not the experts, but what we do is we have a team of researchers, looking in. No, we don't have a team of researchers. We do the research, of course.
I was wondering where you're going with that.
We do research on behalf of you guys. We spend a lot of time so that we can help you and get you the answers.
Absolutely.
And looking forward to next week, with another topic and some more Q&A. And, with that, have a great week, everybody.
See ya.